We're talking about something called Amendment 7, and this may actually play into entrepreneurship, perhaps. Jason Rosenbaum, St. Louis Public Radio, here to kind of give us our reporter's debrief. Amendment 7, it's a tax hike for what, how much, what's going on?
It's a 0.75% sales tax increase for transportation projects. It's expected to generate about $540 million a year for 10 years. That would be $5.4 billion. Sorry, I'm not very good at math.
That's okay.
And they recently approved a project list that would be funded with this tax.
Slow down for 1 second.
Yes.
This is statewide?
Statewide.
And they being MoDOT?
MoDOT, the commission that oversees MoDOT would be the divvy up most of that money and send it to the different counties and regions, including the St. Louis region. And you know, it's kind of a paradigm shift if this does end up passing, because the state typically hasn't funded anything beyond roads and highways. And because this is a sales tax, it can be used for things like mass transit and rail and trails. That's one of the selling points that the proponents have put forward.
Okay, we'll come back to that because not everyone's on board with this. Tell us why.
Not at all. This tax has sparked a diverse opposition. You have everybody from Democratic Governor Jane Nixon sounding off against it to very conservative state senators like John Lamping and Ed Emery opposing it.
I think I saw the Show Me Institute, very conservative institution, out against it.
It really has banded the left and right together in opposition. I mean, the left doesn't like to use sales taxes because they feel it's regressive toward the poor and elderly. The right feels that this tax is just too large. It would probably be one of the largest tax increases in state history. So it's kind of banded together both a unusual coalition for it, business and labor both support it, and an unusual coalition against it.
So why are we told that it is so necessary? This is a topic that comes up in a lot of different topics we discuss here. We hear about the transportation tax. Why is this needed?
Well, partially because, you know, Missouri has just a pretty large network of roads. And if you drive along some of those roads, for example, I-270 in St. Louis County, some of those roads are in legitimate need of repair. And there's kind of an uncertain federal situation, and there's a feeling that the gas tax is not going to keep up for all the repairs and projects they want to do because of fuel efficiency and other things. On the other hand, though, a lot of people just don't see the sales tax as a way to do it. I mean, if this ends up passing, there'll be parts of St. Louis City that are going to have sales taxes over 11%. And partially that's the fault of the local jurisdictions that have various taxing districts, but it's a reality that people would face, and that will impact pretty much every Missourian in Missouri. And
there's a kind of a section of folks that are against it because it is a sales tax. It therefore they would argue is regressive and taxes those who may in fact not use these roads.
And they say raise the gas tax, which is one of the lowest in the nation, are put tolls. And although I have to tell you, as an Illinois native, I think people who use the Illinois tollways would probably not have a magnanimous opinion of tolls, especially if they're out of state and have to pay more than people with iPass. But it's sort of the argumentation that user pays for the gas tax and the tolls.
Okay, so we've got a unique coalition against it. We've got the mayor for it. Any predictions? Will this pass?
Well, I think that one of the things is that the proponents have a lot of money with them, and they have raised over $2 million or $2.5 million. Most of the money coming from contractors who would ostensibly benefit from this tax. But while the opposition doesn't have a lot of money, this may be a situation where voters hear the pros and the cons, and they see that it's a tax increase, and they're going to have to decide whether this sort of tax increase is worth it to build the state's infrastructure. So I think it's uncertain now, but it's going to be a tough road to pass.
Pun intended?
Yes.
Okay, Jason Rose.